As one of the leading community service organisations in the Northern Territory, Carers NT works collaboratively with remote communities, Indigenous families and community members, providing disability, aged care and carer support services in some of the most remote areas of Australia. In July 2019, Steve Vitone, CEO of Carers NT, and Chris Haywood, a remote areas community development specialist consultant, travelled across Arnhem Land to meet with community members and deliver a series of collaborative planning workshops. Delivering one of Carers NT's Toyota Troopy four-wheel drive vehicles to the new Carers NT Regional Aged and Disability Respite Centre being developed in Nhulunbuy, they head eastwards along the Arnhem Highway towards Jabiru, gateway to the East Arnhem region. They need to spend the night at Jabiru so they can cross the East Alligator River early the next morning. It's low tide at 4:30 a.m, giving them a short window of opportunity to cross, and they're not the only ones. In the pitch black before dawn, along with a number of road trains, they cross the crocodile-infested East Alligator River at the famous Kales Crossing. With countless huge crocs lurking in the dark, murky waters, they don't hang around. Getting ahead of some of the road trains, but not all, Steve and Chris battle on towards the next destination, Ramingining. As the sun peaks over the horizon, they approach a clutch of road trains and trucks stopped at the expanse of mud, where the Arnhem Highway has turned into a bog hole. One road train is already stuck in the middle of one track, and a gaggle of slack-jawed truckies stand around to see who will risk getting bogged next. These monsters will sink in over their axles in this. The boys inspect the scene, and Steve sees a line he's willing to risk that might just allow the troopy through. In fast and furious mode, he guns the engine and successfully slips and slides the troopy around the man-trap, leaving the stranded truckies catching the golden rays of the rising sun. On they go. The road is theirs. Heading eastwards, leaving the rocky country of the Arnhem Escarpment behind them, they sweep into the wide, open savannas of Arnhem Swamp, one of the world's largest wetlands. It's an important ecosystem and home to thousands of species of birds and animals. In the middle of the top end's dry season, the land looks arid and parched, but the wet season transforms this area into a vast, thriving wetland. They cross small rivers and creeks that swell with runoff in the wet season to become huge impassable barriers, making the drive to Ramingining and the central Arnhem communities only possible in the heart of the dry season. First stop at Ramingining is to fill up with fuel at the local Dinnibulla Roadhouse. This small Aboriginal-owned business is operated by local Yolngu people. Steve and Chris stop for a yarn with a few of their Yolngu friends.
Welcome, Ramingining. Welcome, carers, old people, most young people they look after. They cooking and they washing, clean them up, and they make everybody, old people, they make heart is getting better. You know?
Then it's time to meet up with the board of Bullencunnum Corporation for a collaborative planning session. Working closely with Indigenous communities and community members facilitates the co-design process, ensuring that local Indigenous community members have choice and control over how their services are delivered. Today, the focus is on planning for the future, to create a new respite centre, which will provide a range of new services and employ local Yolngu in sustainable jobs. Flexible business development that is responsible to local community needs is a key feature of the Carers NT operation. With a successful consultation process in Ramingining over, they're back on the road once again heading east towards Nhulunbuy along the most difficult stretch of road yet. Sandy, pitted and gouged, 50 kilometers per hour is an optimistic top speed out here. Mind your heads! Stopping for a short break at the top of a winding ridge, Steve and Chris take in the beauty of East Arnhem landscape. An endless stretch of rolling country taking us towards the sea in the east. After another 6 grueling hours of several hundred kilometers of the shattered dirt roads, they call into the remote community of Yokala to meet with local community members and do some more consultations. At Yokala's beautiful shady beach, they stop for a chat with local Yolngu Mala leader, Mak Wanambi.
There is somewhere for us to stay for a respite. With the help of the Carers Anti-War, I really appreciate, acknowledge anti-carers staff.
Yokala, about 30 kilometers east of Nhulunbuy, is well known for being the home of the Yolngu artists who famously painted the bark petition that was sent to the Australian Parliament declaring land rights for the Aboriginal clans of the region. Finally arriving in Nhulunbuy, they head down for a walk on Guralathami Beach, taking in the beauty of the Arafura Sea before a well-earned rest. From their base in Nhulunbuy, they're back on the road again, heading 300 kilometers south to meet community members in Banyala, a remote homeland on the Gulf of Carpentaria. Banyala may be home to only a few hundred people, but it's a dynamic little community. Steve and Chris meet with community members on the beach to discuss partnering with them to deliver services for these extremely remote homelands-based communities. Carers NT helps to develop communities by focusing on group and individual strengths to empower their growth and success. They're all about building community capacity and resilience, engaging positively to develop projects through collaboration with communities, however large or small they may be. Developing East Arnhem Limited, or DEAL, is a not-for-profit organisation set up by the Northern Territory and mining giant Rio Tinto. DEAL gives economic development and planning assistance for organisations. CEO Jodie Bowman and her team help set up new businesses and services across the East Arnhem region. The topic of discussion was the new Carers NT Regional Aged and Disability Respite Centre being developed in Nhulunbuy to meet the regional service needs in the aged and disability sectors. Jodie provides great advice on how Carers NT can access assistance from DEAL to fast-track the project and create an important new community asset. Steve and Chris have driven over 1,500 kilometres of dirt roads to access some of the most remote areas of Australia. They've met with dozens of community members and other regional stakeholders, strengthening Carers NT's influence across the territory as a valued partner in the care and growth of the homeland-based communities, sharing years of knowledge and experience to help those communities grow and strengthen their independence. For now, it's time to head back to Darwin, this time by plane.